Hello students, welcome to EdUp. I hope you guys are doing well in this lockdown period and wish you all the very best for your future and for your preparation, right? So in the last class I have given you one question as homework, that is RMS value of the resultant current in a wire carries a DC current of 10 ampere and a sinusoidal AC current of peak value 20 ampere. So we studied about RMS value and the average value in the last class, and we have solved around 8 questions, and this 9th question was a homework. So let us solve this now. So here what is given? Here given is DC current of 10 ampere. So DC current of 10 ampere. So what was the formula? According to formula, the answer will be 10 square plus 20 square by 2 a whole root over. The answer will be 100 plus 400 by 2, that is 100 plus 200 square root of 300, that is 17.3 ampere. So option B will be correct. The formula was, let me write it again for you. The formula was, please note it down. I'll write the formula for this once again here. Okay. Formula was, for an AC signal, let Y is equals to A plus B1 cos omega t plus B2 cos 2 omega t up to Bn cos n omega t plus C1 sin omega t plus C2 sin 2 omega t up to Cn sin n omega t. The RMS value will be, YRMS will be A square plus B1 by root 2 whole square plus B2 by root 2 whole square up to Bn by root 2 whole square plus C1 by root 2 whole square up to Cn by root 2 whole square. So according to this formula, YRMS square equals to this much. So according to this formula, I have taken the DC part of the current, that is 10 ampere, the value that will be A. So A equals to 10 ampere and peak value having 20 ampere. It is a sinusoidal AC current, so sinusoidal it can be sine, it can be cos. So let us take B1 equals to 20 ampere. So according to this formula, I have squared this 10 square plus 20 by root 2 whole square, that is 20 square by 2. So check your answer and match that answer with this formula, you will understand. Okay, so let us go to today's topic, that is representation of sinusoidal waveform. So this was our syllabus for AC fundamentals. First one was instantaneous, peak, average and RMS. We have done 9 questions under this, and those 9 questions are very much sufficient to solve, to be taken as a reference. So just take those questions as reference and try to solve other questions based on instantaneous peak, average and RMS. You can post your doubts on our Instagram channel, Telegram channel, Facebook, or in the comment section of this video. So just we will put the details of our channels under the description section, so go through this. And yes, we have finished this instantaneous peak, average and RMS. And second, we are going to study about representation of sinusoid. This is our today's topic. Today we are going to cover representation of sinusoid. Okay, so let's start. Let us discuss the first question under representation of sinusoidal signal. Let me read it for you. The first question is, find the phase difference between two quantities of EMFs given as E1 equals to A sin omega t plus pi by 6 and E2 equals to B sin omega t minus pi by 6. These are two quantities given, these are EMFs, and it is asking about the phase difference. Options are A 60 degree, B 75 degree, C 0 degree and D 120 degree. So let us solve this, then I'll give the concept of phase difference and some phasor representation of sinusoidal signal. So let us solve this first. So you can see here, sine can be represented as, if basically you can represent a sinusoidal signal as, if I am representing a voltage signal, I can write it as V equals to root 2V. Okay, here I have written V, that's why I am changing it. Let us consider it as X. So X equals to root 2V sine omega t. Okay, so root 2V, here root 2V is the peak value of the RMS voltage V. Here small b is the V RMS, it is the RMS value of the voltage, and the peak value of this RMS voltage is root 2 into V. Okay, so, and also I can write current as, okay, let us write it as capital V. So capital V is the sinusoidal waveform, sinusoidal representation of voltage waveform. Okay, so in the voltage waveform we can represent, we write the first one as a peak value. Okay, peak value at first, and the sine part, sine or cos, both sine and cos are called sinusoids. So you can, that depends on our question, or it depends on our theory whether we will write sine or cos here, but we basically take sinusoid, sine. Okay, so it is the V, it can be represented as root 2V sin omega t, where root 2V is the peak value. In the same way we can write current as root 2I sin omega t plus phi. So here, if there is some other elements like inductor or capacitor, we can there will be a phase difference that is represented as phi. So you can see it is also sin omega t, it is also sine, but with a phase difference of phi. So what is the phase difference between these two? The phase difference between these two is omega t plus phi minus omega t. Okay, so omega t will be cancelled out. The phi is the phase difference. So here phi is the phase difference. Phase difference is nothing but a simple difference between two phases of two quantities. Okay, so here in this case, here two quantities are given as E1 equals to A sin omega t plus pi by 6, E2 equals to B sin omega t minus pi by 6. So what will be the phase difference here? Here phase difference will be, we can just subtract the higher quantity, we can just subtract the lower quantity from higher quantity. Okay, so what is the higher value of the phase? That is omega t plus pi by 6, And what is the lower value of the phase? That is omega t minus pi by 6. Okay, so omega t plus pi by 6 minus omega t plus pi by 6. Omega t will be cancelled out. Pi by 6 plus pi by 6 is 2 pi by 6, and 2 pi by 6 is nothing but 60 degree. Okay, so answer will be A, 60 degree. I think you got it. If you didn't get it, then I'll give you the concept now. Let us go to the concept. Please note it down before we go to the concept. Please write it fast. So look at here. I've told you we can represent a voltage as root 2b sine theta and current as I equals to root 2I sine theta plus phi. So I can write omega t in place of theta because theta equals to omega t. Here omega equals to, you can write it as 2 pi f, where f is the frequency. Okay, just remember that. For detailed studies, you can send us a request to any of the social media platforms, any of the channels. So for SSC JEE, I'm giving you the brief concepts, brief description of the concepts here. Okay, so just remember everything, whatever I'm saying right now. So we can represent B as root 2b sine theta and I as root 2I sine theta plus phi, where phi is the phase difference. And if we'll represent it as a waveform, you can see here a blue colored waveform is for the voltage and the red colored waveform is for the current. Okay, so here you can see these two are not in the same phase. You can see there is a phase difference between two zeros of the waveforms. So you can say there is a zero crossing, here is a zero crossing. The zero crossing for current is little bit earlier from the zero crossing of voltage, right? So what is the difference? This difference you can write it as phi. Okay, if it is pi, then this point will be pi minus phi, or this point will be 2 pi minus phi, because it is earlier from the pi point, right? It is the waveform, sinusoidal waveform. You can represent it as a phasor diagram. What is there in the phasor diagram? Phasor diagram contains two things. One is phasor line, another is a phase angle. Okay, so let us draw this. If we will see at 0 point, at this instant, voltage having a 0 value, so you can draw a phasor line like this for voltage because it is a 0 line. And whenever we are studying a phasor diagram, we have to study it in the anti-clockwise direction for positive angles. Okay, and what is the difference between two waveforms? That is phi. So if I will draw the phasor line for current, it will be like this. And what is the difference here? The difference is phi. So this angle represents the phase angle, phase difference between two waveforms, that is phi, and this is the phasor line. phasor line is nothing but an RMS value. RMS value of the voltage is this phasor line, is represented by this phasor line, and the RMS value for the current is represented by this phasor line. Okay, so you can say this RMS value is constant everywhere. There is a radius for this circle, and this radius is the RMS value of the quantities. Okay, so this is the phasor representation and this is the waveform. Just remember this much, you will be able to solve every question based on the representation of sinusoidal signal. I'll give you more questions on this, so just note it down. One more thing, if you want to write it in a polar form, you can write it as, see, look at here, it is in the 0 degree angle, voltage is in the 0 degree angle, so you can write the voltage as B angle 0 degree. Okay, it is in the polar form where B is the RMS value. And here in this case for the current you can write it as I equals to I angle. It is, if theta is 0, so this much will be 0 plus phi, that is phi degree, and this phi represents phase difference. Okay, so this is the polar form, and this one, these two are sinusoidal form. There is one more kind of form, that is Cartesian form. Just write it down and I'll tell you what is Cartesian form. If you write those quantities in Cartesian form, then you can write it as, let me write the sinusoidal form first. V equals to root 2 B sine theta, and current equals to root 2 I sine theta plus phi. Okay, if I want to write it in the polar form, B equals to B angle 0 degree. If I am taking reference as a 0 degree, so I can take theta as 0 degree. If theta is the reference value and it has a value of 0 degree, then this much will be 0 plus phi, that is phi degree. So I can write current as I angle phi degree. Remember, this B and this I is RMS value. Here this B and this I is RMS value. If I am multiplying root 2 with RMS value, then I'll get peak value. Okay, so it is in the polar form. So now let us write in the Cartesian form. If we write it in the Cartesian form, so B equals to, this much will be B cos 0 degree plus J sine 0 degree. So B cos 0 degree is 1, sine 0 degree is 0, so it will be V, and this much will be 0, so you will get a value of B in the Cartesian form, or you can just write it as J0. Okay, if we will write current in the Cartesian form, then this will be I equals to I cos phi degree plus J sine phi degree. Okay, J I sine phi degree. So this is in the Cartesian form. Note it down. Let's go to the next MCQ. Let us go to the second question. Two sinusoidal waveforms having same frequency but different amplitude and phase are added. The resultant is a sinusoidal having same frequency, sinusoidal having double frequency, sinusoid of half the original frequency, and D non-sinusoid. Okay, here you can see I'll take a small example and I'll make you understand about this. Sinusoidal waveforms having same frequency. Let us take frequency, for example, f equals to 50 Hz. Okay, then take two different sinusoid, like take x equals to, or take a equals to a sine omega t, and b equals to b sine omega t plus phi. Okay, so in both the cases frequency is same. Why frequency is same? See, here omega and this omega is same because omega equals to 2 pi f. If I put this value in place of f, then I'll get 50 into 2 pi into 50, that is 100 pi. Okay, in place of omega I can write 100 pi, or in general we can write a sin omega t or b sin omega t plus phi. So let us add these two algebraically, or just using trigonometry. We'll add these two, a plus b, that is a sin omega t plus b sin omega t plus phi. Okay, you will get a sin omega t plus b. If I'll expand this using trigonometric formula, then it will be sin omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi. So this will be a sin omega t plus b sin omega t cos phi plus b cos omega t sin phi, and it will proceed like this. But what is the important point here? You can see omega is not being changed. Omega is remaining constant, like omega. If omega value is 100 pi, then everywhere it is 100 pi. Okay, so by adding two waveforms or two sinusoids having same frequency will not be affected. Right? One more short concept I'll give you. That is the concept of period. You know, sine is a periodical sine or cos is a periodic function. Okay, having a period of 2 pi. And in this case, अगर हम लोग यहाँ पे फ्रीक्वेंसी चेंज नहीं कर रहे हैं, दोनों का फ्रीक्वेंसी सेम है, then it is a bit of sure that the frequency, after adding two sinusoids, you will get again the same frequency in the resultant, right? So because frequency is 1 by time period, and if time period is not changing, how can a frequency change? Okay, so till the time period is constant, frequency will remain constant. There will be no change in the frequency. So in this question, two sinusoidal waveforms having same frequency but different amplitude and phase are added. The resultant is a sinusoidal having same frequency. Option A will be correct because frequency will not change. जब तक यहाँ पे टाइम पीरियड चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, फ्रीक्वेंसी आपका चेंज नहीं होगा, राइट? So option A will be correct, and all other options will be invalid. B option, sinusoid having double frequency. No, it can't be double because time period is not being doubled, or time period is not being halved. If time period will be half, then frequency will be double. Okay, so time period is constant, frequency will remain constant. Option C, sinusoid of half of the original frequency. If time period will be doubled, then frequency will be half. But time period is not being doubled, it is constant, so frequency will remain constant. And non-sinusoid, it is impossible because two sinusoid are being added, so you will not get a non-sinusoid, you will get a sinusoid only. Okay. Let us go to the next question. So next questions are based on true or false questions. First statement is the phase difference between the two waveforms alternating quantities is measured by the angular distance between the points where the two curves cross the base or reference line in the same direction. It is true or false. Okay. Let me discuss this. Before some time, there was a diagram like this. It is a voltage waveform, and let it be current waveform. Okay. So whenever you are measuring the phase difference, you need to see those points, or you need to see those points जहाँ पे दोनों का डायरेक्शन सेम हो, right? Here, if I am taking this point and this point, here the direction is towards negative, and for current also the direction is towards negative. Both are crossing this reference line. There is a reference line having a value of 0. So both are crossing the same reference line and going to the negative direction. Here you can say the phase difference is phi. Okay, so statement 1 is correct. Whenever the phase difference between the two alternating quantities is measured by the angular distance between the points where the two curves cross the base or reference line in the same direction, both are going to the negative here. Okay, in the same way you can get the same phase difference here also. Here both are crossing the same line and going towards positive. So both the directions are also same. They are having a same direction and also crossing the same baseline. Okay, if I will draw a line here, here also you can see this point and this point. The difference between these two phases will give you a phase difference because they are crossing the same base or reference line and going towards the positive direction or going towards the peak of those quantities. Okay, so both are going to the same direction and crossing the same baseline. At that time you can calculate the phase difference between two. Okay, so first statement is correct, it is true. Let's go to the next statement. Each 180-degree rotation of the phasor generates a complete cycle. If I will draw the phasor of this again for current, this is for voltage. Okay, this is phasor line for voltage and this is phasor line for current. Phase difference is phi. So here you can see the complete rotation is of 360 degree. If you are going for 180 degree rotation, then you will go half of the period. So 180 degree is the half period for sinusoids. Okay, for particularly this sinusoid, if you want to cover a complete cycle, then you have to rotate the phasor line for 360 degree. Okay, that's why the second statement is wrong. It is false. The second statement was each 180 degree rotation of the phasor generates a complete cycle. No, it is wrong. It is 180 degree represents half cycle, 360 degree represents full cycle. Okay. Let's go to the third one. When two waves are 90 degree out of phase or has its peak value when the other is at zero value. Okay, let us draw this, then you will understand. The phase difference is 90 degree. Let us draw. Here you can see there is a phase difference of pi by 2. If I am taking the zero crossing of both the voltage and current, then you can see there is a phase difference of pi by 2. It is 0, it is pi by 2, so difference is pi by 2. Okay, the question was, when two waves are 90 degree out of phase, has its peak value when the other is at 0 value. So when the current is in the 0 value, at that point voltage is having a peak value, right? Maximum value. When this voltage is in having a 0 value, at that point current is having a peak value, that is maximum value, right? So the statement C is correct. When two waves are 90 degree out of phase, one has its peak value when the other is at 0 value. One is at the peak value when other is at 0 value. One is at the peak value when other is at 0 value. It is possible when they are 90 degree out of phase. Okay. And the fourth statement is, a phasor is a line which represents the RMS value and phase of an alternating quantity. Yes, we have already drawn this phasor line. It represents the RMS value, and the angle between two phasor line represents the phase difference. So option D is true. A phasor is a line which represents the RMS value. Yes, the line represents the RMS value and phase of an alternating quantity. If it is a complete phasor, it has a phasor line which represents RMS value, and this angle represents phase angle. Okay. Next, I am going to tell you one of the very important things that you can get as an interview questions in future, like why sinusoid? Why in electrical engineering, in every calculations, in every derivations, we use sinusoid. Sinusoid may consist of sine or cos, but why? Why sinusoid? We can describe it in three basic points. Like first one is Fourier series. You know, Fourier series is a very basic mathematical derivation, you can say, or mathematical formula that we use in electrical engineering. And Fourier series, you know, it consists of sinusoid. So any kind of waveform, may it be square or rectangular or triangular, any kind of waveform can be represented as one of the sinusoids, sine or cos, using Fourier series. Okay, so this is very important. We can convert any kind of waveforms into sinusoid using Fourier series, and it makes our calculations less complex and simple. So this is the second point. Due to this, by using sinusoid, we can reduce the complexity, we can reduce the we can make our calculations easier or simpler. Okay. And the third point, that is transformers. In case of transformers, the output voltage is derivative of magnetic flux, right? So it is a time derivative of input voltage. Which one? Magnetic flux is a time derivative of input voltage. And what is most important is we want same input and output voltage signal at both sides of the transformers. And it is only possible in case of sinusoid, right? If we are giving a sinusoid in the input side, we will get again a sinusoid. Yeah, it is true, having a more peak or in some other peak values or RMS values, but we will get the sinusoid only, okay? If we are giving sinusoid at the input side, and output side also will get the same sinusoid. And it is possible only in case of sine or cos, right? So, and then you know transformers are a very important machines in electrical engineering. It steps up the voltage or steps down the voltage depending on the requirement. So these are the three basic points, three main points why we use sinusoid in electrical engineering. Okay. Today's last question is based on this diagram. Here you can see there is a source, AC source, having V equals to 150 sine omega t. There is a capacitor having a reactance value of 500 ohm, and there is a resistance having a resistance value of 700 ohm. Right? The first question is find the circuit current in polar form. Okay. So how can we find it? Okay. Before we're going to solve this, observe this diagram. Okay. We can write this resistance and capacitance in complex form, right? We will study it in later classes, but this is important because of polar form of waveforms. In terms of polar form of waveforms, that's why I'm telling it now. I'm solving this question now. You will understand, don't worry. So I can write this combination in the complex form like this: 700 ohm minus J500. You can tell it as an impedance, J. So combination of these two is called impedance. So 700 ohm, it is a real part, 500 ohm is the imaginary part because it is a capacitance. If there will be an inductor, we can write it as plus 500, J500. Okay, it is capacitor, that's why I am giving minus here. Why minus and why plus I will tell you in the later classes, in the following classes. And for the timing, just remember, it is minus for capacitance and it will be plus for inductance. Okay, so Z, we got it, 700 minus J, 500. We can find the polar form. So how will you find out polar form? So we can write it as Z equals to, what will be the polar form? Polar form, there is a RMS value and there is a phase difference. Okay, so let us find out the RMS value first. What will be the RMS value? RMS value will be 700 square plus 500 square root over. Okay. If you will calculate this, you will get 860.23. And what will be the angle? Angle is tan inverse imaginary part, that is 500 divided by 700. You will get the value 35.54 degree. Okay, then check the sign. What is the sign here? Here the real part has a sign of plus, here real part is a sign of minus. So it is a first quadrant, both are plus, in second quadrant minus plus, third quadrant minus minus, and fourth quadrant is plus minus. So plus minus represents a third quadrant, and for third quadrant we will get 0 minus 35.54 degree, that is minus 35.54 degree. Okay, just remember this. If you are in a first quadrant, just write the same value. If it is in the second quadrant, just subtract it from the 180 degree. If you are in the third quadrant, then add it with 180 degree. If you are in the fourth quadrant, just reverse the sign. If it is plus, it will be minus. If it is minus, it will be plus. Okay. So we can write it as, we got the RMS value, we got the phase. So we can write this impedance as, so we can write it in the polar form, Z equals to 860.23 angle minus 35.54 degree. Okay, so RMS value is 860.23, polar, the phase value is minus 35.54 degree, and combinedly it is in the polar form Z equals to 860.23 angle minus 35.54 degree. So this much you will require in the following questions. Okay, let us go to the first question. First question is, find out the circuit current in polar form. So how much will be the circuit current? So 150 sin omega t. We can write 150 sin omega t in polar form as 150 angle 0 degree. If I will take omega t as the reference point, we can take it as 0 degree, and this phase will be in the phase difference of minus 35.54 degree. So how much the circuit current will be? The circuit current will be voltage divided by impedance. Voltage is 150 angle 0 degree divided by impedance is 860.23 angle minus 35.54 degree. 150 by 860 will give you 0.174, and the angle will be 0 minus 35.5 degree, that is plus 35.54 degree. So the answer is 0.174 angle 35.54 degree ampere. That is option D. Let us go to the next question, second question. Next question is, find out the circuit current in sinusoidal form. Okay, how much will we got in the polar form? That is 0.174 angle 35.54 degree. So how much it will be in the sinusoidal form? It will be same value with sine omega t plus 35.54 degree. Okay, so it is very wrong here. Here in sinusoidal form there will be a peak value, so we will multiply root 2, and option will be, actually the answer will be none for this. Okay, and to confuse you, there is an option, that is option B, 0.174, and most of the students are going to tick that, but the answer is root 2 into 0.174 sine omega t plus 35.54 degree, because the phase difference is 35.54 degree and the base value is omega t, that we take 0 degree, and here we put the peak value. Already I have told you root 2b sine omega t. It is in the sinusoidal form. If you will write in sinusoidal form, it will be root 2b. So b is the RMS here. 0.174 is the RMS, but we have to multiply root 2 to make it a peak value. Okay, so option D will be correct. The remaining two questions are your homework, and it is based on the same diagram. So note it down and do it. Find the answer and put it in the comment section, or just post it in the Facebook, Instagram or Telegram channel. Thank you. See you in the next class. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.